Good morning, y'all. It's 7:16 in the a.m. and I am in the grocery store parking lot. Why am I here so early? Well, let me tell you. I woke up at 2:30-ish. Finally at like 4, I'm just like, beep it, and got up. Anyway, it's New Year's Eve, 2018. Tomorrow's the new year, and Aaron has a cold, and I have cold symptoms coming on. So I thought a good meal for this like dreary, rainy, cold day would be to slow cook some stew. So I'm actually here at the grocery store. I've only made stew maybe one time in my life. I can't remember if it was good or not. So embark with me on my beef stew journey. So I made a list before I left the house, and I left it at the house. Classic. I'm pretty much the only person in this store right now. It's crazy. I have the run of the whole place. It's all me. So I'm stopped at a light and I looked over and here's my list. It was in the passenger seat the whole time. Okay, so I'm home. I'm about to get started on the stew. I gotta be kind of quiet because Erin's still asleep. I don't want to wake her up. She has a cold. But before I get started, I gotta have some coffee. And I'm gonna start thawing the bone broth because it's frozen. I got the good stuff, the bona fide. Step 1, get the Ninja. Okay, so before I actually start cooking, I like to prep my ingredients. So I have to do some chopping. Potatoes. Carrots. Onion. You may have noticed I changed shirts because it's getting a little toasty in here. One thing that's great about stew is you can put all the chopped ingredients into one big bowl because they're all going to the same place and getting cooked at the same time. You don't have to like separate them out, cook them at different times. That's what I love about stew. It's easy, just chop and throw in the bowl. It's that simple. Okay, so the next step is browning the beef. We put it in a skillet for a couple minutes. Just kind of gets the juices flowing before we throw it in the old Ninja. And we'll put a little salt and pepper on it too while we do this. So before we throw the beef on the skillet, I'm gonna chop it up a little bit. These are made for beef stew, but the chunks are just a little too chunky, if you know what I mean. This is 2 pounds of beef right here. Okay, so you just want them to be just kind of brown, not all the way cooked, just brown-ish. And then you just dump it in the Ninja. Hi-ya! I almost made a grave error. I almost forgot the garlic. Okay, so now the fun part, now we get to add everything in. First, I'm gonna pour in the bone broth. And next I will apply some tomato paste. About 2 spoonfuls will do it. Now for the vegetables. Some Worcestershire sauce. And now comes the spices.
Paprika, rosemary. What time is it? I know it's out of focus, but this is coriander. And then we want to put in 2 bay leaves, 2 of them.
So that's it. Now we just put it on slow cook, 7.5 hours. There's one more step we gotta do. It's basically done. Just put the lid on and wait. It'll make your house smell good throughout the whole day, I hope. Stew update. It's got about an hour left. I came to Family Video to rent some movies. As I mentioned before, we both have a cold. My nose is all stuffed up. It sucks! So we're gonna stay home and eat stew and watch some movies. Okay, that went pretty well. They had a lot of things that I wanted. First off, Hotel Artemis. Kind of wanted to see this in theaters, never got around to it. The trailer looked interesting. I also got Ant-Man and the Wasp. I never got around to seeing that in theaters this year. That came out this year, right? 2018? Yeah, I think so. I didn't see it. Incredibles 2. The one I was really here for, the one I really want to see, and it's been on my must-see list for a while now, is Mandy with Nicolas Cage. It's supposed to be a weird, crazy ride, and I can't wait to get on that roller train coaster. Anyway, do you guys still rent movies from video stores? I think it's kind of cool. Probably just because I used to do that as a kid at Blockbuster. I would go all the time. Brings back a lot of memories for me. Anyway, better get back home and check on that stew. 31 minutes remaining. We're going to mix up some flour and some of the broth just to thicken it up a little bit. Once it's good and whisked, pour it back in the stew. Stew will be ready in 25 minutes.
The stew is complete.